youth's message. We're going to include all of the youth that attend our services for our brief message before services start. And so it now will be titled the youth's message, and it will be going at about 10:20 before service starts. We're in a new location. We're not going to be using the small chairs anymore. I don't think most of you would fit in those small chairs. No. So we're going to sit here and be a little more comfortable. We will have a format where the students that go with Miss Robin, the elementary age students, will be going out for activities again during service. The middle school students, the high school youth, will all be staying. Whether you want to stay in the same seats or move, you'll have time to do whichever you choose to do. So, most of you who attended one time or another for the children's message, and the high school, the older ones, you were a lot of times in here when it was presented, even though it wasn't directed to you. But let's take a look back for a moment. Ms. Tara, if we could. I want you to think of, maybe there was only one of them that ever clicked with you, rang a bell with you, did something with you. Take a look at my questions up there. What do you remember? Now, I'm not asking you to put your hand up in response, so you don't have to say, I'm not saying anything. Okay? Just I want you to stop and think, what do you remember about any of the children's messages? We covered books of the Bible, different books of the Bible. There were stories from the Bible that we looked at. Names of different characters from the Bible. There were some pictures, graphics that we used on slides from time to time. And there were a few activities that we did, hands-on things that I had the children do while they were up here. Thinking of any of those? If you've thought of one or more, turn to somebody sitting next to you, stand up if you have to, and just briefly for a minute, tell them one thing I sort of remember. I'm not sure all the details, but this is what I remember. Give you just a minute or two. Turn and say something, and if it's, I don't remember any of them, you can tell your neighbor that. Go ahead. You got about 1 minute.
I never actually
Go right to my Sebastian.
Wow. You guys juggle? Yeah. There you go.
So when we get ready for the choir,
all right, you had a few minutes to do that. Well, let's take a look at a few of the things and see if these are any that you recall, or maybe what we see up here will recall some of them for you. Let's take a look. All right, the book of Genesis. How many of you have heard of the book of Genesis? Let's see a show of hands. All right, you've heard of that. We covered several things in there. God made us, God protects people who love him, and God keeps his promises. Let's take a look at another reminder here. A story about Abraham and Sarah. Do you remember any part of that at all? There was one outstanding thing about that, and it was that they were very, very old. Yes, 99 years old. We don't usually think of people having children when they're 99 years old. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Jacob wrestles with an angel. He wrestled all night. It was part of a story. It might not remember it, might know something, might kind of say, yeah, I kind of remember seeing that picture. That was about him crossing over the river to start and what then became the nation of Israel, which we still talk about. Let's take a look at another one. Joseph and his brothers. Do you know that story? Joseph and his brothers, they take his robe and throw him down a well, and then it eventually turns around and comes back that he becomes the the favorite of the Pharaoh in Egypt, and he saves all of them. Another one. Prophets. We talked about different prophets. Look at the definition of a prophet up there. We spent at least 4 weeks talking about prophets. Let's take a look at another one. Oh, symbols. Remember talking about symbols of Christmas? Seen those? All right, what else did we have? How about symbols for St. Patrick's Day, wearing of the green? And here was a question that we asked one day. Why did God give us parents? Think about that for a moment. And whatever your answer might be, just to refresh us, turn and tell somebody. Why did God give you parents? All right, you're sharing some things. Let's take a look at one other topic we talked about. Peers. Peers, who are people close to your age that you're around. Right now, there's an age range here, but you all have peers. Okay, the age group that you're closest to. And how that you can affect one another. Here was a question we posed one day. Actually had a glass of water. And I asked you, is the glass half empty or half full? And the answer is, I hear half full from some, and it could be half empty. What would you say it is? Both. Why is that? They're the same. All right. It really depends upon whether you're taking more out or putting more in, doesn't it? Okay. And last slide for this morning. Once upon a time, we talked about what families are. And what we came to is that we are all children of God. So isn't every Sunday at JCPC a family reunion? Turn around and say hello to your family if anybody you haven't said hello to this morning. Everybody, say hello to your family this morning. We're all children of God. Thank you. So this is the new beginning. We'll get into more detailed conversations and explanations and involvement in the future. But for now, what we can do is the group that goes with Miss Robin, you can head out. Others, you can rearrange your seats if you like. Sit, move to your family, stay where you are, whatever is comfortable for you. For the entire congregation, in just a moment, the countdown is going to start, so it gives you a chance to talk about all the exciting things we just talked about. Or if you're already excited enough, it gives you a chance to get up and use the restroom one more time before service starts. So take it away on the countdown. Thank you.